Wow, this event was certainly something else. I'm Joe Rentham with the Retro View of AWA Battle by the Bay 1986, taking place in the Kaiser Convention Center in Oakland, California. 1,500 people were in attendance for this ESPN special because this is when ESPN was growing, they needed programming, and the AWA benefited by getting a shot in the arm, and they got some people that wanted to stick around a bit until they went to WCW and WWE, and Vern Gagne's company just eroded. By the way, the 1,500 people didn't even come close to filling up the venue, which had a capacity of about 4 times that. And by the following year, Super Clash 2, they weren't drawing that many people, and then Super Clash 3 and Super Clash 4, everybody got on the floor, and oh look, there are the dinosaurs still wrestling and running the company. Hi, Vern. Anyway, yeah, this show wasn't very good. It had a couple matches that weren't too bad, but like Wrestling for a Cure, that event that's on Classic Wrestling Stuff, their YouTube channel, as well as this one, you get the original commercials from the original broadcast, which is really goddamn cool. A cool time capsule of 80s commercials with so much 80s hair and so much cheesy music and everything. And also, since it was on ESPN, you get the old Sports Center stuff and the bumps for the baseball scores and stuff. Really, really fun. And also, this was the lead up to Wrestle Rock 1986 and other shows that they would tour with and not draw that many people. So Eric Bischoff doing the opening voiceover. At least it sounded like Bischoff. It might have not been, but I think it was. Larry Nelson, President Stanley Blackburn, and Lord James Blears out among the fans. And man, Blackburn just looked lost. I mean, he was really old and he was not a good TV personality. Maybe he just was feeling really awkward around all those fans that were screaming. Larry Nelson, by the way, more like Larry Yelson because he loved to yell. James Blears was just there, bleary-eyed, and I think everybody was bleary-eyed. I think Larry might have been drunk or high or something because he seemed unusually off. Which is weird because Larry Nelson was not a really good commentator, but he seemed extra off this time. So, we then get, commercials. So we cut to a commercial for Loris, more watch than humanly possible. Okay, it's so much watch, for a small price. And then we get a Budweiser ad where the doctor helps people, and then because he's tired of helping you people, he has to drink. If people would stop getting injured, doctors wouldn't have to drink. Or bang their nurses instead of their wives. That was unnecessarily mean. I have no idea where that came from. And then we have a payday ad where it takes a lot of peanuts, to pack it into a payday. A chocolatey payday or a nutty payday. Who doesn't love nutty chocolate all over your goddamn face? If you don't, then you're better than me. And you also not have to delete your search history like me. So, we then get Copper's Wood, which you can find in a dam that apparently giant beavers decided to build. Giant angry beavers, not zombievers. That movie was something else. So, by the way, an ad for Tuesday special, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Adjust your clocks accordingly, or adjust your peacocks accordingly. And then Larry Nelson does the ring introduction. And then we get Ali Khan with Sheik Adnan El Casey, which, yes, was General Adnan with Sergeant Slaughter. Taking on Earthquake Ferris. Earthquake hits the Bay Area was the actual caption they put for this guy. Wow. That was something else. So, Ron Trongard and Lord James Blears do commentary. Greg Gagne joined for a couple matches later. Big men smashing into each other. It wasn't good. Earthquake Ferris is more of a gimmick. I mean, he kind of got some cheers, but Ali Khan, no idea who he was. Rest Hold City, Power Slam eventually 1, 2, 3. Pretty impressive Power Slam, actually, from a guy that really didn't look like much of an athlete, but he had some good power. And then Ali Khan attacks afterwards. A Sun Chop. No, a Khan Chop. Missed an opportunity there. And then the crowd boos. Sports Illustrated, 27 issues, 3 installments of $9.79. You better call and use your credit card because this was back in 1986 when ordering with your credit card was, the big thing to do because everybody was doing that as well as doing piles of cocaine, so much cocaine. Good God, the 80s was filled with nothing but cocaine. But, again, it's the 80s. Do a lot of coke and vote for Ronald Reagan. If you get that reference, my God, you are a big fan like I am. And so you get a free bloopers video that's on VHS or Beta because 86. This is when Beta was still around. Beta never took off like VHS. But then again, trying to do Beta, Beta 2, or Beta Viral would have not had the same impact as VHS, VHS 2, or VHS Viral. We don't talk about VHS Viral because it was shit. VHS 2, that goddamn Indonesian death cult that is. That was scary. So, yeah, you can use your credit card though. ESPN Slam and Jam Special, Roller Derby, and yeah, AWA Wrestling. Yeah, those two go together like peanut butter and sardines. And Larry Nelson interviews Leo Namunami, however the hell it's said. Guy with huge ears, not as big as Paul Bosch. And then Ray Stevens, who was a matchmaker, make me a match, buy me a pine. And Ray, please, for the love of God, get the business back up like you did in San Fran. That's not how the song goes at all. Just totally butchered it. Ray Stevens, though, was a matchmaker. Leo was not a TV personality. I mean, he had something, then he lost it. And man, it was more like they were in the Ray area. Boy, I am really struggling with these jokes. And then we get a Banaka ad that is so good you will lose your head. Seriously, it was like Max Headroom all over the place. And yeah, so we get lucite paint, the paint that, lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts until the world burns. And after Earth is around, and lucite paint will still last while Will Smith tanks it in a bad M. Night Shyamalan movie. Nestle Crunch ice cream, careful, or people will tag team your treat. Gross. So, let's get to Sherry Martel with Playboy Betty Rose versus Candy Divine. Candy with an I, so you know she was extra stripper-like. That was not unnecessarily mean. Her hair probably wouldn't have allowed her to fit on the stripper pole. What is it with me making jokes? Probably because the show wasn't very good and I need something. AWA Women's Championship. That being said, despite the fact that Candy struggled to get in the goddamn ring because either, her hair or her hair tripped her up, this actually wasn't that bad. Both women worked hard. They did some good shit. Quick start. Both women took turns scissoring each other, which, who wouldn't love to see? Sherry, by the way, great wrestler. A lot of people remember her as a manager mostly. But, I got to look back. I got to go back and watch some more of her stuff. Of her in the AWA and briefly in the WWE when she didn't bother to sign a contract with the AWA because she was smart, because she wanted to go and make more money. And by God, she made a lot of money. Sherry was tougher than most of the guys. We get a Boston Crab, we get reversals, we get some rest holds, but we get Candy slamming Sherry a few times, like on the floor, and some good stuff. They laid this shit in. Now, was it a little awkward? Sure, because Candy wasn't necessarily a great wrestler. Sherry was. And then Candy bounced her around for a while, and then the ref gets sandwiched by the women. And then despite the fact that the referee's blinded, Sherry does a head scissors to him, and the referee just goes with it, the fact which was a little bit goofy. And then we get a Rolaids ad, the bump where it's like Rolaids, how do you spell relief? And it's like the little graphic thing where like on the side you got Rolaids and then you got the thing underneath, the little chyron there for the scores, the baseball scores. And it's still going when Sherry hits the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling. Surprise roll up, 1, 2, 3, holding the ropes. The referee was practically outside the ring making the count. How he did not see that, I don't know. But Sherry wins the AWA Women's Championship, which I think Candy had won either the year before or just earlier in the year. I'm a little bit fuzzy on some of my AWA history. But I know that she had beaten Sherry for it, because I think she beat her at Super Clash. I retro-reviewed Super Clash 1, but I've retro-reviewed a lot of shit, so forgive me if I don't remember. And then we get Bill Superfoot Wallace, who apparently was some kind of karate guy. And he was talking about the power stretch by Treco. Not Mike Tirico. That's Mike Tirico, that is. He was just showing, hey, this is how I do stretches. Because I want to see a man that is, a great karate expert, but who's all sinewy in short shorts stretching. That's exactly what I want to see on my wrestling program. I say as I'm watching a show that has men in tights. They're men in tights. They like to pick fights. Boy, ruining these goddamn songs. So, 2-stage stretching system. Call now and get these handsome sweats, a $29.95 value for free. And you get a free brochure. Okay. I'm not actually familiar with the power stretch. Did it sell that well? I can't imagine it did. It kind of looked like a longer variation of that thing you use to measure your feet at the shoe stores, or at least at Payless. So, we then get Donna of Ringside Rumors with so much hair, I'm amazed it didn't block out the sun, despite the fact it was a roofed arena, telling Larry Nelson, well, the referee's decision is final. Is she the president now? I'm so confused. And she's going to bring back Ringside Rumors soon. Cool. Okay, I look forward to that. And then, we get a light beer ad where there's the bartender's using a projector. And then it's a Bud Light ad. It's basically for Bud Light. And then Dutch Boy Paints. Well, we then get a boxing ad. By the way, Dutch Boy Paints was offering some kind of card thing, and I don't know what the deal was. Wrestle Rock 86 plug. 20-man battle royal and a whole bunch of other stuff. They're going to be running around the St. Paul, Minnesota area, as opposed rather to St. Paul, Ontario, which might exist. I don't know Canadian geography. Frank Biner, don't know who the hell that is. Mick Gillette, that is. Man, he micked himself shaving. I don't know who the hell he is either. A lot of singers here because they were hyping up Wrestle Rock, so they were going to have these rock artists there. And then we get a Big Trouble in Little China ad. I should retro review that. Should I retro review Big Trouble in Little China? Answers in the comments, please. Budweiser ad where they show old war photos, seemingly. It's actually people coming over to the country. And it was also a talk about the 100-year restoration of the Statue of Liberty. You know, back when this country felt a little free. So anyway, Jay York, that was announced as Jay Teltz, I think. It was weird. He took on renowned murderer Jimmy Snuka, who is buried in hell for getting away with murdering Nancy Argentino. And he did it. I don't fucking care what somebody says. Watch The Dark Side of the Ring. Vince McMahon paid off the police chief. And Vern Gagne is like, yeah, sure, I'll take a renowned murderer. Why the hell not? I need talent. And again, Vern Gagne would do something later when he was in that retirement home. But you know what? Let's just ignore that. Let's not ignore it, but let's just, say that Jimmy Snuka is still having a career afterwards, claiming bankruptcy and not paying a dime to Nancy Argentino's family after killing her. That's fucking horseshit. This is shit. It was a lot of rest holds. Snuka scissoring from behind, trying to choke him out or whatever, maybe next time, this Jay guy should take the stairs and get a lame crossbody. The ropes were kind of loose, but Jimmy Snuka just kind of fell on him. 1, 2, 3. Snuka got the promo, but before that, Larry Nelson says, you can applaud this great wrestler. Boo! That's actually what the crowd did. That wasn't just me. I was booing because even though it's a 35-year-old show, or nearly, I'm going to boo Jimmy Snuka. And yeah, fuck Jimmy Snuka. I'm glad he's dead. We then get feedback from the microphone, and he keeps saying brother over and over and over. Then we get Lyle Azedo, an all pro for the NFL, talking about Tengrin medicated shampoo because it's not like Head and Shoulders. Okay, Tengrin just sounds like a knockoff Tetris that you would get on a mobile app, even though mobile apps weren't even thought of back in '86, or maybe they were. I don't know. Anyway, Wall Street Journal ad. I noticed this about this and a couple other ads. Why was there a special number for Nebraska? Did you have to send the newspapers through all the cornfields and it cost extra? What was the deal? Was there a protective barrier around Nebraska where you need to enter a certain code to send newspapers to them? Genuine question. Was it a different tax? I can't imagine that all 49 states, including Alaska and Hawaii, had, similar taxes while Nebraska was either way low or way high. What the deal? What the fuck was going on there? It's just, I don't know why that threw me off, but it did. And we get a plug for Super Bout, Sugar Ray Leonard versus Duran. Not really up on my boxing. Apologize for that. And we get Nick Bockwinkel doing a promo about the Barbarian, John Nord, the Berserker, that got the sword and tried to stab the Undertaker later. Not that one. No, he wants to win title number 4, which he would do later when Stan Hansen would be relieved of the AWA championship. I find it hard to believe that Stan Hansen was ever made the AWA champion. No offense to Stan Hansen, but the fact that he was making so much money in Japan, in all Japan, and doing some great things in AWA could not pay him nearly enough to justify making him the champion and having him miss any dates. It was stupid. But, man, running over the championship, though, that was great shit. The fact he was champion for, 7 months, that was something. So anyway, we then see ad about the Statue of Liberty, the restoration, everything, and donations to help with the restoration. Because why the fuck would we not use the surplus to build a giant statue for a monument to freedom? Anyway, that we got from another country. So, Statue of Liberty buckle. It's layered in 24 karat gold. Molds will be retired on July 4th, 1986. Damn it, I only missed it by about 34 and a half years. God damn it. Well, actually, just under 35 years. Moving on from that. Oh, but the Hammond Mint is so, determined to make sure that you like your buckle that if you don't, that they will repurchase your belt at the full price for the next 12 months. Oh, damn it. I only missed that by about 33 years. Man, I gotta get on this shit, even though I was only 5 years old when this happened. So, use your credit card and get a 24 karat ingot. It's like an inglet. It's like an Inuit. No, Inuit TurboTax. I think that was it. Replica of the buckle. Certificate of authenticity. Man, still disappointed I missed this by about 30-something years. Nick Bockwinkel versus the Barbarian, Nord the Barbarian. Actually, I'm just going to call him John Nord the Barbarian because that was his name. With Boris Zukov as tag team partner and Sheik Adnan El Casey. Man, Adnan El Casey got a lot of TV time here. Greg Gagne joins commentary, and I feel asleep. And if you get that reference, you know your video games. Boy, we get a sudden score update. Man, Nick really had to try hard here. Now, this version of Barbarian, Nord looked great. He just wasn't great in the ring. Sheik got his head bashed into the buckle later. And then a big boot. And he ended up holding the ropes, the bottom rope, to get the victory after hitting the big boot on Bockwinkel. So I think Nord would end up actually getting a title shot against Stan Hansen. And that must have been a snooze fest watching that. And then we get Nick all upset. Then we get new finish, once a year car polish. It's a space age polymer formula. Polymer, I can say that correctly. Space age. Polymers in space, which would still be better than that Life movie. Larry Nelson interviews Zach and Darius, who apparently had something to do with Tower of Power. I'm not familiar with. I heard the name, but I can't tell you any of their songs. I can't tell you what kind of music they do. I only knew they did music because they talked about it. I wouldn't have had a clue what they did. They could have sold drugs for all I know. I don't think that Vern Gagne would have had people like that on his show, but at that point, who knows? Then we get a Visine ad for when you get those itchy red thighs. I may have misunderstood what Visine is for. Then Lucite Paint, promoted by, a guy that apparently was around when the first war ever happened. That guy was so old. I'm amazed that the slight breeze that was happening, during the shoot didn't turn to dust. Mean, because I'm sure he was a nice guy, but good God, he was old. So, we get Larry on Larry action. So it's Larry Nelson and Larry Zbyszko with a glorious blonde mullet where he was losing a lot of hair. And I know something about losing a lot of hair. So then he has a new segment where he's going to interview Greg Gagne. But Greg Gagne comes out for that while Larry Nelson does the interviewing. And then we get a special package with Jump by Van Halen where the jump basically gets played every time a dropkick is hit. So pretty much every time Greg Gagne hit a dropkick because Larry was more ground-based. Why was there a ninja in the ring? A thing I never thought I'd have to ask in wrestling until sometime last year. Seriously, what was with the ninja? Why did Larry Nelson? Larry Nelson might have needed ninjas. Hell, he might have seen several ninjas of how drunk he was. Why did Larry Zbyszko need a ninja? So, Sports Illustrated and Sports Center commercials with a very young Chris Berman. Holy shit. Stan Hansen versus Jerry Blackwell. AWA title match and oh dear. Ooh. Hansen didn't give a fuck. He had a loaded boot because he had a bad ankle, which came into play a little bit later. Blackwell's pretty over. He did get lifted up and fell on Hansen in the Andre Hogan spot, one of the other spots they've done in territories, and nearly got a 3-count bear hug. We get a ref bump. Big splash, no ref. Then a loaded boot gets taken off, bashed into Blackwell's head. Hansen was bleeding by this point after a post spot. And then he just keeps hitting him in the head, and then Blackwell's bleeding. And then we get a second ref. The first ref gets hit in the head, and then another ref gets hit, and a DQ is called. And then we get an ad for the National Business Employment Weekly. So I got a question. Why was this like an after-school special? And if you're struggling to make ends meet or struggling to get a better job, how are you going to afford 8 issues for $35? Couldn't you maybe just, I don't know, apply at jobs instead of spending that money that you may not have? So back and fans are throwing trash in the ring. The few fans are there. I think a lot of fans had already left because it was really quiet by the end. And he wasn't champion much longer. Hansen also yelled a lot. I mean, to be fair, it was actually kind of funny seeing a bloody Hansen just scream. And then we get the Payday ad, the Banaka ad, and then we get Wrestle Rock ads and Jim Gabbard. Who the fuck is that? No idea. Kurt Hennig, Curly Lock Kurt Hennig, good lord. Midnight Rockers, Jannetty, and Shawn Michaels. Jannetty would end up having a career that went downhill, and Shawn Michaels is now in NXT, keeping one eye on the entrance and one eye on the monitor. So we then get Alexis Smirnoff, Doug Summers, Buddy Rose, with Sensational Sherry as the opponents. It was fine. Greg Gagne joins commentary again. I don't know why, because I feel asleep again. And the pace was good. It did get messy at the end because it was like a lot of TV 6-man tags. And Marty got targeted a bit, and then it devolved a little bit. We get a launch splash where Janae got launched onto, I believe, Summers 1, 2, 3. And this would lead to later in the year, I think the Brawl in St. Paul in 86, where the Midnight Rockers would win the tag titles. And then we get an interview with the Faces afterwards, and then we get another commercial. And it's like Paul Horning talking about the sports news. 36 issues, 3 easy installments of $5.99. That's a steal. Except I don't know what the fuck it would cost now, especially to buy those newspapers from back then. And then Wrestle Rock preview with Frank Biner and the Soul Patrol. That's what they were, the Soul Patrol. The crowd booed this because it was like maybe 30 seconds, and then they went to the commercial, or, the ending bump and stuff like that, and that was it. I'm going to keep trying to find more stuff on classic wrestling stuff, and hopefully, more of these channels, these fan channels that want to keep territorial wrestling alive, will add more stuff, and I can retro review it, because it's a lot of fun, even if I got to rant about stuff like this. Anyway, agree, disagree, what it said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.